Not being able to vote is part of what is overall a very dehumanising process, and therefore it affects my dignity, and it's not seen to me to be important within the prison system. You're just another number.
I felt ripped off. I really did. I felt like, how can myself, being a citizen of New Zealand, born and bred here, not be able to vote when I know that my vote would have counted?
When you can't vote, it has quite a significant effect, sometimes that you're not aware of as an individual, on your feelings of being unable to control your future. I think it's time that we did think about voting isn't just choosing somebody to represent you, it's actually being part of a society and being able to participate and give something to it and be heard.
So I'm a solo mother of 4. I currently have 3 in my care. Harley, can you put your jacket on for Mama, please? And I'm actually a recovering meth addict, also an ex-inmate. I was released on the 20th of December 2011. I was 19 when I first went to prison. Tumputus! I even remember the night before when we were all getting ready and we were all going, yeah, voting tomorrow. We were all high-fiving one another, wishing everyone a good night. Go to our cells next morning, we're all up, having a shower, head over to the office and, you know, what time are we all voting? And then we got told, oh no, you're not voting. And we're like, hey, no, we're New Zealand citizens, we should be able to vote. And they're like, no. Alright, that's the court time. Tell Yaya, please. Good court time. I could see just the hurt and the pain that they were going through, because once again not being able to vote, or once again having to prove themselves worthy of voting. That's how I would say that we did feel, is that we're not worthy of anything. How can that be? When we do matter. We are the people of this land, come on, man. I know I felt pretty rat shit. I know I did a crime, but yeah, I wanted to be part of change.
It makes me feel really angry as someone who's part of this society that we have denied people a basic human right. Having the right to vote gives you hope. It makes you feel that you are part of that society, that you have a future. And that's so important when you're talking about people who have really many times been victims of violence themselves and who we really want to support so that they have a better chance at a good life.
We're working.
There is a debate. From a moral point of view, you can make the case these are bad people, they shouldn't vote. From a more pragmatic perspective, what you're doing is removing a right of citizenship from these people, making them feel even more apart from society, and potentially making it somewhat more difficult to rehabilitate them when they leave prison.
I made a mistake, or I acted in a way that was wrong, but that's not who I am. That was a thing I did. That's not who I am as a person. I was there wanting to get things back on track and do the right thing. And one of the first obstacles I come up against in trying to do that is that I'm prevented from being able to vote. I'm being prevented from having a say, and so I'm being rendered voiceless. While I was incarcerated, my only child died. He drowned in a swimming accident when he was 13 years old. So I got a one-day release to go to my child's tangi, and I left the prison at 7 in the morning. By 7 p.m. I was back inside, despite the fact I was a minimum security prisoner who was entitled to a 3-day leave where my family could have come and picked me up, and I could have had 3 days to say goodbye to my son before being returned to the prison. They'd made an error, so I had 1 day. Every day that I'm not offending, every day that I'm on track with my goals is a day that I honour my son's memory. I have a view out my window now. I never take it for granted because I'll never forget what it was like to be in a concrete cell with no view, where you couldn't even see a blade of grass.
I think voting is very important because it's the act of participation which is most accessible and convenient for the largest number of people to be able to do. The argument for removing the right to vote for prisoners was essentially couched in terms of more punishment for having committed a crime.
That is really frustrating, and I think to some degree that's what drives me, because I do think that if people were better informed about how harmful our system is, if it was your brother or your sister or your mum who had hurt someone, who had had a really rough start to life and had ended up in the system, what would you want to happen to them? And it wouldn't be to punish them further. It would be about diverting them out of that system, giving them a chance at a better life, helping them to see where things had gone wrong.
I get the idea that for public safety, we have incarceration or confinement in order to protect the public. But I don't understand how preventing incarcerated persons from voting is a form of public protection. I don't think it matches, and I don't think preventing people from voting necessarily matches their crime. If say you've got unpaid fines and breach parole and end up in prison, and now you can't vote in the same way that someone with much serious crimes.
At present, I'm fighting in a case to allow women the right to vote if they're in prison, which at present they can't do. Whether it be 1 week or life, they cannot vote. This type of legislation, you can see a trend, a pattern. Centre-right governments generally disenfranchise all prisoners, whereas centre-left will allow prisoners to vote who are serving short-term sentences. It has become a bit of a political football, which is not right, because we are actually talking about a fundamental right, which is guaranteed under the Bill of Rights.
I think any government that tries to reduce voting rights in a way that is undemocratic is a bad thing.
It was quite disheartening for all of us. I know that for myself as well as others, it would have been a really awesome opportunity to be able to have a voice and be a part of that change.
It's been a long road to democracy, but the great ideals of equal suffrage, inclusiveness, openness, tolerance have recalled it to its obligations as the longest running democracy in the world.
In spite, I guess, of all that I've been through in the criminal justice system, all that I've lost personally, I haven't given up hope, and I'm out here doing the things that I dreamed of, doing a double degree. Now I'm doing psychology and criminology. I ended up getting a job working for Restorative Practices Aotearoa, and I love the idea of being able to work in this environment because it's definitely about the value of second chances.
I've only voted twice in my life. And the reason why I do vote is because I want to be part of change. And if it means that I've got to start so little by ticking boxes, getting my ass to a ballot, ticking boxes, so be it. Because then at least I can say that I helped make that change, or I can say, well, at least I tried.
In spite of, the narratives we tell ourselves, the stigma from other people and these negative attitudes, towards us, that we can still triumph, we can still overcome.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.